Trump is creating a new style of governance the world has never seen. Donald Trump unveiled his Board of Peace. At the same time, Jared Kushner unveiled a new Gaza plan for rebuilding the Gaza Strip. Rather than the people governing themselves through the ballot box, like with a democracy, or even rather than a monarchy or a dictator, this is a new style of governance that is being rolled out, where essentially investors are going to build up territories, build up countries, build up nations, and they will control them. It would be run by, rather than presidents and prime ministers, sovereign CEOs. This is much more sinister, and let me explain. It starts off with Kushner's new Gaza plan. I think they've chosen Gaza because they knew they could bomb the heck out of it to raise the entire place so that they could clear all the rubble, build something brand new, and try out this new style of world domination. And we know this because the Board of Peace is not, even though it was supposed to be created for Gaza, it's not in their charter. Gaza's not mentioned. It's for any and all territories that they can essentially get their hands on to do this exact same project. Gaza is just the prototype. Now let's first listen to Jared Kushner talking about the new Gaza plan.
We want to encourage all the countries to be able to follow these best practices. What the Board of Peace will have the ability to do if we're successful with Gaza is really show how do you do peace implementation. As we're creating this system, we can just document these learnings and make them available to all else who want to use them in the future.
Very specifically, Jared Kushner is talking about investors redesigning a strip of land whose people still do not control their borders, their politics, or their security. They will not be in charge.
There'll be amazing investment opportunities.
The charter for the Board of Peace actually gives Trump ultimate decision-making power with the ability to act on the board's behalf without needing full board consent, essentially making him a king of a territory. That is essentially what this is. And the thing about the Board of Peace is that it's not limited to Gaza. When they started Board of Peace, they said, oh, this is for the rebuilding of Gaza. But then they wrote the charter and they unveiled the charter, and it turned out, wait a minute, this isn't limited to Gaza. This is for any and all areas of the world that you believe there's a conflict, and you're going to go in there with investor money and rebuild these areas, and the investors will actually be in charge. The governance will be by the investors who have a board, a chairman of the board who's ultimately the overseer of this, not the people. They want that for all of us. This is a way for the investors to start ruling the world.
It's not illegal to record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, why are you taking my information down?
Because we have a nice little database.
Oh, good.
And now you're considered a domestic terrorist. So
We're videotaping you? Are you crazy?
What the fuck is wrong with you? The fuck, people? The fuck is wrong with you? Honestly. Oh my god! The fuck did you just do? The fuck did you just do? Yes! Liz, somebody call the ambulance! Somebody call the ambulance! Somebody needs to call the ambulance! Somebody call 911! I can't believe they just did that! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Fuck you! Come on, man! Fuck you!
Hey, go that way, bro.
Go back at him! Fuck you!
Fuck.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Hey. Damn! Damn!
Fuck you!
Come on, this stupid motherfucker right here.
Fuck you!
fucking guy. This fucking guy right here.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. They just started firing. This has been going on for almost 2 hours. Fuck you guys! Fuck guys! Fuck guys!
Yeah, I definitely gotta get away from this dude. You see, he bringing this shit to us. He don't get no fuck. I fuck with him though. He don't get no fuck.
Wow. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakak, and double honor. So our apostles, elders, and bishops here at Great Millstone for teaching this truth is going all around the earth. And shalom to the hopeful elect out there. It's your brother Atazawan from the Great Millstone here in St. Louis. And man, what a week, right? What a week of events here in Babylon the Great. You know, we see all the ruckus that's going on, all the different things that's happening. Be it real or be it staged or whatever the case may be, who knows, right? Who knows? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua knows, right? You got all these devils meeting up in Davos this past week or so, and all these other prime ministers and kings and so on from all these other different nations coming together, trying to decide how they're going to rule the world and take over everything. And, you know, in this lesson, we're probably going to jump around. We're probably going to touch one or two different things. So just bear with me. All right. Everything is going on. It's a great time to be alive to see it. All right. A lot of things going on in the earth, man. You know, we had an earthquake here in the Midwest this week. And just a whole bunch of things happening all at once, man. The Lord is really tearing Babylon down. All right. And so we see what's going on up there in Minneapolis. And, man, what a time, right? But we see in those clips that I put together, some clips of what the ICE is doing and going on up there in Minneapolis. And then I think I had a clip in there with DJ Trump Nero, okay, up there at the WEF. And there was another clip I wanted to put in there with that sodomite, Yuval Harari, or whatever his name is, but I don't want to make it too long, right? Don't want to overburden it. But maybe I'll get to that later, if the Lord wills. But yeah, we see a lot that's going on. And it's to a point now where you just, it's unmistakable. Even for, you know, a man or a woman that's not in the truth, you know, the truth of understanding who Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is, who are the real true people of the Lord. Even if you don't understand that, you should be able to see that you're in the last days and that this man is at the end of his wits, he's at the end of his kingdom, and he's trying all sorts of things. All right. So with that being said, let's try and jump in. As like I said, it might get a little messy. I'll be from here and there and so on, but just bear with me. So let's look at this. It says right here in 2 Thessalonians, 2 Timothy, difficult times will come, okay? And right here in verse 1, 2 Timothy 3:1, it says, and know this also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. You know, just focusing on peril. Peril means hard, difficult, and yes, to a degree, deadly. You know, times will come upon the earth. And we're starting to see more and more that as, you know, people have access to media via their cell phones. All right, so they could get news, breaking news, every moment of the day. Okay, and from various different sources, people in the public who are recording on their own, right, and posting it, and so on. Okay. Verse 2, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, right? And we're seeing these wicked elite who are unholy, right, setting the stage for what they believe will be them taking over and controlling the whole earth. All right. Verse 3, without natural affection, truce breakers, right? And this guy has gone on with his idea of taking over another country, right, where there is a actual literal truce between NATO, Denmark, America, North America, right, and Greenland. You see, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers those that are good, right, traitors, right. You would betray a peace treaty. Okay, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High. They give you this idea that they never directly tell you who their God is, right? They never mention who their God is. They give you this illusion that we're all talking about the same God, talking about here in Babylon the Great, right? All right, but we know that these people are the devils on the earth. All right, because the earth was given into their hands for a time period. And let's look at it right here real quick. I'm going to try not to be too wordy and too long, but I also will have to speak a little bit in code. All right, and you brothers and sisters out there, you know what we mean when we do that. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he? So this man throughout the years have covered over the truth, have covered over the real faces and images of the real true children that belong in that state or that land over there, right? They made it a state in the 1940s, okay? But they're not the original people of that land, okay? And they know that they're not, and their cover has been blown, okay? But they know that the earth was given into their hands to do the things that they're doing, right? And they've got this continual thing going with the Gaza Strip, all right, in which when you listen to that portion of the WEF, they're talking about how basically, they're saying that basically there's going to be like a strip mall. It's going to be Las Vegas, over there in the Gaza Strip once they finish blowing it up. And then all the investors come in and rebuild it. You see, that's what this man is thinking about. All right. Okay, let's read this. This is Genesis 27:39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. Right. So they want to take that piece of land that doesn't belong to them and make it into a place of tourism, of fun and games, of business, of venture, right? Venture capitalists or capitalism, right? And they always have to be by the water, right? And that old part of the, in which we'll get to that in a second, that there's some old ports up there that they want to get their hands on, all right? And they want to rebuild this as if it's some kind of grown-up Disneyland. Okay, going on to verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. All right. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And read on just a little bit more. And these words of Esau, her eldest son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doeth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, right? And tarry with him a few days until thy brother's fury turn away, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? All right. And so I read that to say, just like then, of that land over there, though there may be scattered Israelites still in that land over there, we have been scattered from our land, right? And what you would call, let's just say, and that's just speaking as a man thinking out loud, it's almost reminiscent of what? Being in the wilderness, right? We're scattered from that land on the run, okay? And this man has chased us all throughout the earth. So Esau, Edom, right, the Amalekites and so on, go into that land and try to act like they're the people, that they're Israel, right, that they're the Israelites. Yet they don't call themselves Israelites, you see? And then you got these other nation people who are around about them as well, all right? And they're all trying to make deals on how they're going to prosper in that land. This is Joel 3:1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, right, both southern and northern kingdom, okay, will come back. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. See, so it's almost like, just like in the story of Jacob and Esau, right? Where Jacob had to flee, all right? And the woman being Israel, like when you think about it in the book of Revelation, the woman being Israel, okay, they had the man-child and so on. It's kind of reminiscent of that, But anyway, let's go on. Verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye may remove them far from their border. You see, so the Lord, for the controversy of Israel, the Lord's got a big problem with these people, okay? So that place will not be spared either, is my point, okay? Babylon is going to get destroyed, and that place over there is going to get destroyed, all right? And when we come back into power with Yahushua, all right, King David, okay, that place is going to be built up by these doggone Edomites, right? Now, something that I also drew comparison to was, if we go over here to John 2 and jump in at verse 3, and it says here, and the Jews' Passover was at hand, and Yahushua went up to Jerusalem and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves and changers of money sitting. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables, and said unto them that sold doves, take these things hence, make not my father's house a house of merchandise. And that's what they're trying to do to that land. They're trying to capture it all and turn it into their own little paradise, right? Because they believe that they're going to control everything on the earth, all right? And they want that piece of land, okay? Verse 17, and his disciples remembered that it was written, the zeal of thine house hath eaten me up. So even though this is talking about wicked Israelites, when you think of it now, and they call themselves over there those hook-nosed propeller hats over there, You know, they fashion themselves to be us, okay? But it's just a comparison, all right? That they think that they could go over there, take that land, and make it, again, like I say, they're going to turn it into Las Vegas, where only investors will be over there, those who invest to rebuild it, okay? And they'll be in charge. There won't be, as that lady said in her report, there won't be a prime minister or a president or anything like that. The investors will rule that land, you see? So they're trying to turn it into a place of merchandise, all right? Let's see here. Let's go on and look at one of the prophecies, all right? But again, drawing a comparison to what you saw in that one clip, okay, in that lady's report, how these heathens will come into there. And the Lord has a plan for it all, don't get me wrong, okay? But these things have to be because, why? It's prophecy. Okay, so that these people will come in there and think it's there, but hey, but the Lord is going to drive them out. He's going to destroy it, and then it will be given back into its rightful hands of whom it was promised, which will be the Israelites. So let's read Zechariah 9. 9:1, it says, the burden of the word of the Lord Yahweh in the land of Hadrach and Damascus shall be the rest thereof, when the eyes of man, as of all the tribes of Israel, shall be toward the Lord. And Hamath also shall border thereby, Tyrus and Zidon, though it be very wise. And Tyrus did build herself a stronghold, and heaped up silver as the dust, and fine gold as the mire of the streets. Behold, the Lord will cast her out, and he will smite her power in the sea, and she shall be devoured with fire, right? So just thinking of it, when the time comes, right, when this nuclear destruction starts flying, that place is going to get hit as well, all right? Ashkelon shall see it and fear. Gaza also shall see it and be very sorrowful, and Ekron. For her expectation shall be ashamed, and the king shall perish from Gaza, and Ashkelon shall not be inhabited. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. Right? Because, again, when you look at that World Economic Forum, all these people may look a certain way, but it's not about what they look like and what titles they carry as prince this or that. Truthfully speaking, only the Lord, right, knows what nation blood is running through those veins of those people that attend this thing, and who have decided in their minds, so they think, that they're going to conquer and take over the whole world, all right? And they're going to take all resources unto themselves. You see? Verse 7, and I will take away his blood out of his mouth and his abominations from between his teeth, but he that remaineth, even he, shall be for our power, and he shall be as a governor in Judah, and Ekron as a Jebusite. And I will encamp about mine house because of the army, because of him that passeth by, and because of him that returneth, and no oppressor shall pass through them any more, for now have I seen with mine eyes. Okay? So destruction will come with these other people, these heathens of these other lands, right, going in there. Okay? But what will happen is what? We're going to rejoice, as it says here, when our Lord returns. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just, and having salvation, lowly, and riding upon an ass, and upon a colt, the foal of an ass, in which he did when he rode into, Yahushua rode into Jerusalem, right? But yet, we're not in that land yet, okay? So also, it is what? Foretelling or foreshadowing also of the time to come when the Lord will return, right? And I will cut off the chariots from Ephraim and the horse of Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off, and he shall speak peace unto the heathen, and his dominion shall be from sea even to sea, and from the river even to the ends of the earth, right? Here we go, deliverance of Judah and Ephraim. As for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit wherein is no water. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. And the Lord shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as the lightning, and the Lord power shall blow the trumpet, and shall go with whirlwinds of the south. The Lord Yahweh of hosts shall defend them, and they shall devour and subdue with sling stones, and they shall drink and make a noise as through wine, and they shall be filled with bowls, and as the corners of the altar, and the Lord their power shall save them in that day as the flock of his people, for they shall be as the stones of a crown, lifted up as an ensign upon the land. You see, for how great is his goodness, is how great is his beauty. Corn shall make the young men cheerful, and new wine the maids. All right? So that deliverance is coming. These motherfuckers, they may be in there right now, but they're going to be out of there. All right? And they got all these big plans to take that place over. All right? And here's a photo of it. All right? This is a port. And you know, Esau, like I said, they got to be near the water so that they can control the waterways and do their trade and all of that shit. Okay? All these other nation people and all these other investors, you know, want to come in there and take over everything, you know. I believe that's the port of Ashkelon, you know, which you got a lot of, you know, back in ancient time, Canaanites and Sidon and all them type folks was up in there, see? All right? And because you know that they're not the people, and we go through this, you know, on a weekly basis explaining, you know, or going through the scriptures to tell you, hey, if the Lord was really for all these other people, then who are these nations that he's going to rule with a rod of iron? You see, if they were the real people, how are they in the land doing business with all these heathens? If they were really the real people, you see, there's no way they could be the real people doing business with all these other nation people. You see, this is Revelation 12:5, and she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. Then who are these other nations if you're going to be friends, right? Business partners, venture capitalists together, right? Then who's the Lord going to rule, or how are you the Lord's people when you understand that he's going to rule all other nation people? How are you doing business with all these other people when you, who call yourself, you know, the real people of the land, are dealing with, as you like to refer to as goyim or heathens? So by simple reasoning, obviously they're not the people of the Lord, right? And she brought forth a man-child, and she is Jerusalem, right? Israel, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and a child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne. And the woman, that woman is Israel, like I said before, almost in comparison to, you know, Jacob and Esau and Rebekah. You know, she told him to flee, you see? And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of the Most High, and they should feed her there 1,260 days. All right, and it goes into the war of the Lord, the Archangel Michael, okay, against the dragon and their army. Okay, you can read that on your own time. We won't go through that again this evening. All right. But it's showing you that, you know, these people can't be the real people if this is what they're doing, all right? And that the real people of the Lord are scattered to the four corners of the earth. And we're waiting on our Savior for our deliverance, right, to be brought back into our own land, all right? And so you also saw, well, let's get this. This is Revelation 19, let me see. We're jumping right here, verse 11. Revelation 11:19. I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. Right? So he's going to make war, what, with these heathens, right? Especially Esau, Edom. Okay? His eyes were as the flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. These are the kingdoms. And he had a name written that no man knew but himself, right? That goes into his holy righteousness and his ranking. Okay? Verse 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High, right? Also talking about his ranking. Okay? Let's go into verse 14. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean, right? Coming with all the armies of heaven in the chariots. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, right? His own personal chariot, if you will open up and begin to blast, right? Fire and smoke and laser, vapor, okay? And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the almighty power, and he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, right? So that's Yahweh's return, okay, which we eagerly wait for, okay, as we see all these things happening today, especially here in Babylon, as we take it all in, right? And we see the destruction that's coming upon this place. And believe it or not, there are people out there who still hold out hope for this place. You might as well forget that, okay? This is 2 Ezra 16. Let's jump in right there, verse 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, right? We're seeing these evils play out here in Babylon the Great. And I wouldn't think that they would slow down now. They're just going to pick up, okay? What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are seen as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And you're starting to see this take form here in Babylon the Great, especially with that sword, right? Now, we don't know. We don't know what kind of psyops are going on, if any, right? But from the appearance of things, it doesn't look good, okay? And it's nothing but great confusion here now, right? Even those people of the MAGA, right, who supported this dude, they're taking their support from him, okay? Going on in verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, right? So you see that modern day sword, right? The 9mm, the pistol, right? 357, Magnum, a 44 Magnum, whatever it may be, right? That's what they're using. That's the modern day dagger, the modern day sword. Verse 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them, right? And that's sort of like what you see now. As they started last year, right, since we in 2026, as they say, when they started deporting Northern Kingdom out of here, all right? What happened to the fruit and the vegetables? They sat there and rotted because there was nobody to pick them. Okay, and then the prices went up at the stores. You see? All right, the trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field. which shall hide themselves, right, in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks, right? So you got people who are running scared now, right? Who are trying to find a place to go looking for safety. And yet these people keep trying to promote to you that that there's going to be safety, right? Verse 30, or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyards. Even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. And didn't they just finish saying that these men have impunity? Basically, they can go and kick in doors without warrants now. Okay? Verse 32, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Behold, the word of the Lord receives it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. Right? So these things, once they start going, they're only going to pick up momentum. Right? Okay? So that when that time comes, like all these things are yet still to happen, a lot of different things, World War III, we're just on the cusp of that, if you will. It's brewing up, and civil unrest, sedition here in Babylon, right? And here these devils go flying around the world talking about how they're going to take over land that doesn't belong to them, on and on and on. The Lord is really, he's really pouring it out now, okay? And it's more to come. Okay, verse 38, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, in 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment, right? So all of a sudden, the shit is going to hit the fan. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and the sorrow shall come upon it on every side. O my people, hear my word, make ye ready to thy battle, and those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. And we go into that all the time, talking about don't be worried about how you're going to carry this or that or what's going to happen. Don't worry about any of that, right? However the Lord going to have you move is how you going to move. You see, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sins, saith the Lord. Like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman, so shall righteousness hate iniquity, when she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face, when he cometh that shall defend him, that diligently search out every sin upon earth, and therefore be ye not like thereunto, nor to the works thereof. For yet a little, and iniquity shall be taken away out of the earth, and righteousness shall reign among you. We'll leave it right there, okay? So it's a lot that's got to go on. There's a lot that's going on. We got more to see, more that's going to happen, okay? Let's go over here to 2 Ezra 15. Let me see. Let's just jump in right there, verse 12. It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it, right? And that modern day Egypt is here, Babylon the Great. Okay? That they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and the hail. And really, when you think about it, of course, this is talking about maybe you were related to farming or agriculture, but here in Babylon the Great, modern day Egypt, you're talking about working, right? Your seed is your money, that you work, right? You do the work, and your seed, your money is going to be nothing. You see? They that till the ground shall mourn. We working, but we not getting anywhere with our seed, our money. You see? And their seed shall what? Fail. Through the blasting and the hail and with the fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And you're seeing that starting to brew up now. People are starting to rise up. There's a lot of uprising of the people, right? There's uproars of the people. People are getting pissed off. And this is really playing into their, the elite's hands. This is what they want, okay? Really, it's Yahweh Shem Yahushai, but this is their plan as well. They thinking that they thought it is and put this plan together, but no, it's the Most High that's doing it, okay? Going on here just for a little bit. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their powers. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. You see, that's that evil going door to door, right? They're not looking for anybody specifically. They just going around terrorizing, right, the citizens of the city, okay, of Babylon the Great. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, right? We can leave it right there. We'll stop right there. That's enough. You get the point. So, you got all these things happening all at once, and it's because the wicked is in control, right? This is Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And even the people of their own kind are mourning, right? They don't like this place, right? They want to know what's going on, okay? Let's go over here to Isaiah 19, and we'll read a few verses of this. Isaiah 19:1, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, rideth upon the swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So you're starting to see people of their own kind coming up against them, right? And make no mistake about it, when times really get rough, they're going to be, even those that are protesting, right, will try to find a safe place to stay. They'll try to find a place to eat. Hey man, it's going to get really bad, okay? Verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, right? Because you don't have anybody standing up right now who can put a stop to the madness. You got all these other, 40, 50, 45, 50 governors of the states can't stop this one dude, DJ Trump, right? And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. See, there's no counseling here, right? There's no reasonable decision-making going on in the House and the Senate, right? They're not bringing any bills upon the Senate floors to find a way to revoke this dude, and his power and so on and so forth, which goes to show you all things are spiritual. You see? But anyway, going on, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, right? And a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Okay, and we can stop right there. That's good enough. You know, but anyhow, a lot of things going on all at once, a lot of different plays being made. Okay, first, as the old people used to say, first one thing, then another. Okay, so, you know, you got all this going on, you know, and those of us in the truth, hey, we sitting back, hey, how about Shem Yahushai, you know, be with us, you know, and cover us and our houses and our children and so on and so forth. I pray that for all of us that believe in this truth, you see. So with that, our inner lesson right there, Salakia, you know, kind of touching on 2 or 3 different things, but Lord willing, you get something out of it, okay? And just ponder on the scriptures, you know, and just watch for what's coming next, all right? As we are the watchmen of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we sit on the wall and we report these things, and as always, filter it through the scriptures, give you a perspective on it, you know, to cause you to think, right? Because ultimately, for those out there who may not have done it, it's for you to repent, man, and come back before it's too late. All right. So with that, our inner lesson right there. All praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Shalom.